Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News. Loads of updates today, good and bad, from around the Valorant world, including though rumours from Zombs that Sentinels destroyed NRG in a scrim set the other day. And also we've got plenty of GameChangers players getting banned for various reasons. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. As I say, plenty to discuss. First of all, on the Chinese Valorant side, we've got a Valorant League being launched in China potentially as soon as summer this year. So we'll see exactly what this looks like, whether it's an entirely additional kind of league on the franchise side, whether it's like a Chinese league that will eventually be integrated. We'll see, but rumors, according to Bloomberg, that this is going to happen at some point or another. Now, unfortunately, we've got to talk about the really horrible story about this Valorant player, Gizem Harmankaya, who was, George Geddes was following this story while it was going on, all these, awful earthquakes in Turkey and Syria, that she was trapped under rubble there. And, player told George Geddes that she's awaiting help. It's been like 36 hours. And unfortunately, it was then confirmed yesterday that she's very unfortunately passed away. I mean, it's really sad how these things affect even, Valorant competitive esports is a relatively small scene in the grand scheme of things, what's going on in the world. But these things affect everyone. So yeah, rest in peace, honestly. It's a real sad story. And I know there's been some frustration here about the fact that she was trapped for a long period of time, that maybe the rescue workers or the authorities weren't quite as effective as they could have been. It's obviously really tricky, I'm sure, for the rescue workers locally, because I'm sure so many people were trapped under the rubble to make the call as to where you go and all that. And I don't know exactly how things went on the ground, but a really terrible story. And definitely wishing the deepest condolences to the family of all those affected. Now, to try not to keep things so downbeat, there's also this update from the VCT yesterday that the 4 melee skins for the limited edition capsule are now available, right? So all of these new knife skins we've got in the game now. And also we believe that a lot of the proceeds here will be given to the teams. So this is why you might see quite a lot of players tweeting out, please buy these capsules because they get money from it. So yeah, 50% of the proceeds over the entirety of the next month go to the teams, and then the teams decide how much is given to the players. Now, I thought there was going to be some rule that came into play here where the teams would have to give at least 50% of the money distributed to their players. I think that was talked about at some point, but I don't believe that's ever actually been an official rule, or maybe won't be an official rule, just because there's been some organizations in the past that have done dodgy things. I think it was that X10 Crit team maybe that basically took all the money from the skin sales and just kept it, even though they said they were going to give some to the players. So maybe there's an argument that they should enforce some percentage at least that they have to give to their players, but apparently it's on the teams to decide what they want to do. Also, some big updates on GameChangers in a kind of crazy manner. There's been 4 players banned over the last 24 hours for various reasons, and this is just like, honestly, classic GameChangers drama. We're going to dive into the articles here. So firstly, we talked about this story a while ago now, Dyslexic and Nabichu. So this was on that, what was it called again? We'll find it in a second. The EQ Cerise team versus CLG Red. Now, this player, Dyslexic, effectively claims that that he was non-binary despite not being, although it's always tricky to determine, like, choosing of identity and all this type of questions. It's a very kind of difficult subject to brace, to be honest, and to actually decide, like, what's reasonable and what's not reasonable. But clearly there was some intended deception here, with Dyslexic reaching out to a member of the team when they needed a replacement and offering to mislead officials by changing his gender identity to a non-binary player in order to play the match. So and then of course that the player on that team agreed and they conducted the deception, and I believe he got flagged because he was basically cheating as well. So it was like an absolute catalogue of errors here from both sides. And now, we kind of knew this story for a while, but it's now been officially exposed and punishment has been handed out. And it's tricky, right? Because, actual non-binary players, it kind of undermines what they're trying to do here in the game changer scene. But, unfortunately, you're always going to have people trying to exploit every system that is available, as unfortunate as it is. So these are the relevant rules to the discussion, and they have actually been banned, respectively, for a long period of time. Dyslexic has been banned until 2030, and Nabichu until 2027. So, I mean, yes, an 8-year ban, pretty much, for the top player. Like, he's not coming back to esports anytime soon. Now, there are lesser bans for these two players, Karos Max and Lemo Norio. Now, this is honestly quite, it's quite a controversial one as well. So, it was spotted, so this is the TLDR. These two players have been repeatedly sending a discriminatory meme to a Discord server a significant size. Therefore, they're both being banned for for, well, 1 year, or pretty much until the end of 2023, so kind of until the end of this season. Now, this is the timeline. They shared a discriminatory meme of a racist nature to a Discord server with over 70 users. Now, 70 users doesn't exactly sound particularly significant to me. I mean, that's kind of just like potentially a private Discord. Like, I don't know, 70 users doesn't sound exactly massive. Okay, I get maybe it's significant, but it's not exactly massive. This meme that they sent was then leaked, to Riot investigators. They've investigated and dished out a 1-year ban. Now, the relevant rule is the following one at 7.3.6. Team members may not offend the dignity or integrity of any country, private person, or group of people through contemptuous, discriminatory, or denigrating words or actions on the account of all these potential things they could potentially discriminate them on, or for any other reason. So this is probably the most vague ruling I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm not defending the use of this particular meme, but I'm just saying that it's kind of a dangerous precedent to set, that one person sending a potentially discriminatory meme that we haven't seen in a private server can get you banned for a year. Like, obviously, what does that mean, right? Because, okay, maybe this meme was really bad and deserves some degree of punishment, but maybe there's something very mild but could still potentially fall under this very vague terminology, like you're potentially inviting some issues here down the line. So, yeah, I don't know in this case whether this is justified or not, but I just think that there can be some concerns here that if you're getting banned for a year for stuff like this, then we might have to ban like half the scene for sending something even if it's very minor. So, yeah, I don't know. Stay tuned on that one, but I thought this was certainly the more interesting of the two in terms of its potential implications down the line. So, as George Geddes says, right, one player was caught cheating, misled officials, and now, well, 4 GameChangers players have been handed suspensions. So, I mean, yeah, it's got a classic GameChangers drama all across the board. Quick note as well on Oxygen Esports, they've got former Guilds player Bonka, who is joining, we believe, as the head coach of the roster, and it worked out rather well for them so far, as we'll see in the matches here in a second. The other story, though, is what's happening in Sao Paulo, as Marv says NRG are winning Sao Paulo. He's very confident. This guy's always talking about NRG, like we'll see if they get him back at some point. But I wanted to share what Zombs said on stream as well, about apparently rumors emerging that Sentinels played NRG in some scrims and absolutely bodied them on one map about 17-3. That'd be quite the storyline if it was true, especially because many believe right now that NRG should be the favorites from North America to take the event in Brazil.
Some crazy scrims.
I mean, Sentinels is the best team and they beat them.
No, crazy scrims.
Oh, they 17-3'd NRG or something?
No, that's what NRG will put them in the big leagues.
They're the reigning champions.
NRG is definitely washed.
The reigning champion. Wait, who is? The guard?
Who is on NRG? It's Envy without Ye, but who's in the replacement of Ye?
ShahZaM and Artis.
So do you think Zombs has any idea what he's talking about here? Right? Maybe not. But yeah, maybe he heard it from some of the players on the team that they'd had a rather good result, right, up against the guys on the NRG side. And look, it's only scrims at the end of the day regardless, but pretty interesting to note. Now, we've got to talk as well about Tier 2, because I thought this is pretty funny from N80. They had a meme here, like saying when you see a VALORANT team that you trust to qualify for Ascension, and yeah, she stops right when it gets to G2 and then gets back ready to go, and it's M80 again. Now, G2 didn't play last night, but teams that did play were the following. So Oxygen took down Shopify Rebellion. Very impressive results here from Oxygen, right? Of course, they've got Scuba, a player that's been hyped up an awful lot lately, and I think for good reasons. B-Dog as well was carrying pretty hard on the SR side. Game 1, they won 13-9, but then it was 13-6, 13-11 in favor of Oxygen Esports. Great result for them, and a very important one as well, because down the line, this could be a crucial series in getting top 4 in that very competitive group. Both groups, of course, are very competitive, but Group B does seem a bit more clear-cut just because the guard, I mean, these guys are just coming Dephh, right? I mean, Game 1, they started out 9-0. You just knew from the very first round here, this game was absolutely chalked, and it didn't take long before it was officially GG. Look at these numbers, right? I mean, everyone in the green on the guard, everyone in the red pretty much on the side of the Aura Esports guys. Game 1 was 13-3. That was ugly. It was 10-0 before somehow Aura Esports picked together some rounds, and then it was 13-4 with another 10-2 half here. So, you know, an absolutely devastating result, but not exactly a surprise, and the guard continue their absolute riot here in Challengers so far. Looking forward to when they play the big dogs in M80, which is happening, I believe, in March sometime. Even Mike's right from 100 Thieves comments on this and says the guard are winning it all, and Tex is like, no way. Once we defeat 100T in a scrimmage, maybe only one one could hope to get that lucky. So, you know, classic pro player stuff where they're saying, oh, these guys are so good, all this. But Tex reckons that 100 Thieves are very good in scrims. So maybe it's Sentinels, maybe it's 100 Thieves leading up the North American line. Maybe NRG are actually not so good after all, or maybe they're actually still unbelievable. Tough to read into all these scrim bucks right at the end of the day. We'll see what happens when we get to Brazil. But also, Sentinels could be the second best team in the world, but Fnatic might be the best team in the world, and they still lose round one and go home immediately. So very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.